Howdy, Ramblers.
I'm Amber.
And I'm Eric.
We're Ramblin Bears. And this is our newest segment of Ramblin Bears, which is called Bear Bulletin.
That's right, and this is Bear Bulletins number 1. And this is a show where we dig through the trash bins of the internet, bring you the tastiest, choicest news stories about the earth, the environment, and nature that you may or may not have seen. And freshness not guaranteed.
All right, well, let's dive right in. So first up, I have a story from Florida, actually. So Florida's been long associated to be known to have snakes that sometimes creep through your backyard or in your pool, but it seems that the state has now taken it to the next level. Since so many people have actually been letting their snakes or unwanted pets out into the wilderness, they've actually been introduced to an ecosystem that doesn't have many predators, and they've started to somewhat take over. So, recent data collected has actually shown that most small mammals, in that area have virtually disappeared. It's crazy. These snakes are just eating everything that comes into their path. So
they're huge too,
and they're ginormous. They're eating bobcats, people. Okay, this is something I can't even wrap my head around. No pun intended.
Well, another cool story this week, one of the coolest there is this Russian team of scientists in Antarctica has been drilling 2 miles through the ice. They're going to reach, or they actually have reportedly reached this gigantic frozen lake that's underneath there. It's basically been untouched by time for maybe millions of years, and they're hoping to maybe even find new interesting forms of life unknown to science there. It's really an interesting earth science endeavor, and it also has implications for astrobiology and for space exploration because there are moons of Saturn and also Jupiter's moon Europa that is ice covered. The scientists expect they have water underneath, and they'll need to do something similar to drill through the ice if they want to see if there's water and maybe even life in that water. Over at SciShow, Hank Green did a great job of, he's got a whole video on this. It's really cool. Check it out. We will put a link at the end.
Our next story comes from California, and it's about a lone wolf named Journey. So Journey is a wolf that actually was part of a reintroduction program in the Pacific Northwest who has traveled all the way over the California border now. And it's the first time that a wolf has actually been in California since the 20th century, which is pretty exciting. So we've been tracking Journey and watching him. He's probably going to go head on back to Oregon, though, because there's no mates for him here. But kind of a fun story. So happy trails, Journey. Good luck.
Another new animal story that came out, an interesting study, found that shipping may be causing permanent stress to whales. The study was conducted during the shipping halt that followed 9/11. There were not very many large ships on the ocean for a few days. And this team had actually been tracking hormone levels for other reasons, just to track health and well-being of northern right whales. Later, the scientists had the idea that, hey, we had this basically an experiment where what was the stress levels when there weren't very many ships on the water, and they found that they were much lower in that period than during the rest of the time. And the good thing is it could be a solvable problem. A lot of the noise from ships is just from inefficient engine designs, inefficient propeller designs. It won't change overnight, but really could build better ships.
So in weather, we're dealing with a La Nina year this year, which has made some interesting changes. If you've noticed, the weather this year has been kind of funky so far. But if you're wondering what was going on, it is a La Nina year. So that's what's going on.
That's right. And Amber asked a great question, which is, what is La Nina?
And what is El Nino?
What is El Nino? It's a lot for me. I can't really unpack all that right now. I did get on the horn with my friend Mike, who is a climatologist. El Nino is a disruption of the average Pacific Ocean circulation, which drives a lot of weather patterns in the world, where there isn't a lot of wind at the equator blowing from west to east like there might normally be, and you also, in conjunction with that, have a lot of pooling of heat in the ocean, and you don't have the cool upwelling that comes from under Peru. And that disrupts weather patterns in its own way. That's what we call an El Nino year. La Nina is basically the converse of that. The winds are strong, the upwelling is strong, and it's also out of the average, it's out of the normal. And so that also drives weird weather patterns. And the one thing that the NOAA, the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, did point out in their report was that in the U.S., La Nina is not particularly tied between strength and effects. So it's really the pattern itself that kind of screws up our weather, if you want to call it that. So in the end, what the take home is it will be going away. We will be heading probably back towards what is an average year, but the effects will remain for a little while as long as the pattern persists.
So that about wraps it up for us.
We'll put all these stories down in the description, so check them out, read it for yourself.
Yeah, if we have any updates, we'll also put those in the description. And if we have any cool videos or anything we find, we'll put those in the credits at the end.
And if you have an idea for a story, hit us up on social media, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. It's Ramblin Bears on all of them. And we'd love to hear from you.
So that's it.
Until next time, ramble on.